Hi guys, welcome back to the channel. Today we're going to mix things up a little bit and I'm going to do some maintenance on my Honda CRF250L Rally. So I'm going to show you how to change the oil and change the air filter. My name is Jeremy, this is Regen Automotive, and let's get to work.
One last thing before we get started. I kindly ask that you like, comment, and subscribe. It simply takes 10 seconds for the viewer, and it really does keep me motivated to continue making videos and get this information out there too, guys. I really do appreciate it, and as a bonus, it makes me as happy when Borat is finally ready to take his lovely sister's hand in marriage.
High five! So before we get started, I'll tell you a little bit about the bike I'm working on. And this will be a new thing for my channel, working on bikes, but as you can see, I'm getting into... this was my bike actually last season. I bought this and got my license, and I did a bit of trail riding. And funny story, my friend let me ride his Husqvarna 500, which is, 100 pounds lighter and double the displacement to this thing. And I was sold on a dirt bike. So I ended up actually working out a deal on a trade on a Honda Civic I had for that thing. So if you guys want to see more bike content, just, the usual, subscribe to the channel and let me know down below in the comments. And, I have the fork seals coming up on that guy, and I'm going to detail it a bit so I can make some videos on that. And there's always work to do on the bike. So anyway, what we're working on today is a 2017 Honda CRF250L Rally. So L is the so first, obviously, it's a CRF250. L is the street legal version, and then Rally is like kind of a, I don't know, what are those called? Like the Dakar style bike. So they pretty much just took like a CRF 250 and put plastics and fairings and windshield and all that stuff. I think it looks kind of cool, but I definitely paid for it in weight, so that's why I ended up getting that thing. But anyway, this is the bike that we're going to work on today. And as far as my maintenance goes, I'm doing the oil change and the air filter. So I got this stuff from Fort9.ca for us Canadians. I'll put some links to the products I used. Standard air filter they recommended on the website, just this high flow brand. So it's a HF103 for the oil filter, HFA1215 for the air filter, and then I got the liquid moly, the good stuff, 10W30 street. I don't know what the difference is between 10W30 oil for bikes and cars, but just to be safe, I got the good stuff recommended online. So we'll get you set up and let's start our maintenance here. So first things first, I'm removing the skid plate with various 4mm Allen head bolts. Came close to stripping that sucker out, so always make sure your bit is seated in your, especially for Allens. And Torx and all that stuff, always make sure your bit is seated in the bolt. I think I'm going to get a replacement bolt there. So I'm going to, instead of having it on the kickstand, I want it level when I drain the oil, because I don't know if it's the L's or the Rallies, but I have a plastic skid plate, and it actually kind of looks like a pain to take off. So it does have a hole to drain the oil through, but I want the bike to be level while I drain it. So I'm going to take it off the kickstand and just rest it on this motorcycle stand I have. I just have it set up on the kind of the rear suspension linkage there so I can still get to the oil drain plug. And then, I really like this stand actually. Of course, well, not of course, my great wife got it for me for my birthday or Christmas or something. And then having one of these electric impacts with a 7/8 socket on it is so handy because I can just zip it up and down with this thing. I have my pan set up, and it's a 12mm plug, or 12mm head bolt to get the drain plug out there. Rock the bike back and forth, make sure you get all the oil out. So we're going to reinstall the drain plug, and the torque spec for that is right here. Next, we're going to remove the oil filter housing or cap or whatever you want to call that, and it's just held on with 4 8mm bolts. There's a spring inside of the oil filter there, so just be careful, it doesn't all come apart when you take it apart. Okay, so just to show you how everything goes together here, you have your little spring, and then your filter. It's going to say outside towards filter cover, so that goes down like that, like towards the filter cover. Then you have your gasket here. I'm choosing to reuse mine. They do say these are reusable, so it's up to you if you want to get a new one. I'm choosing to reuse mine. In the gasket, you'll see it has a cutout there for the oil to flow through. So make sure that your gasket is oriented correctly. You'll see on the engine case where this cutout goes. So make sure that's oriented correctly, and then install everything in reverse. So the torque spec for this filter housing is last, we're going to fill it with our oil. The spec I saw online, some guys are saying 1.6, some guys are saying 1.8 liters. So that's why I bought 2 liters here. And then I'm going to fill it through the oil filler on the top. And there's actually a glass on the side of the case there with 2 marks. So you want to fill the oil in between the 2 marks, and that's how you know it's filled. Oh, would you look at that? The fancy liquid moly oil even came with its own spout, so I don't need a funnel. How cool is that? It's leaking though. Just had to click it in properly. Nope, still leaking a little bit. Okay, the liquid moly spout. Maybe. Check the install properly. Not ready for ventilation. Okay, so I put that full jug in, and then like I said, I'm going to expect to put just over half of this one in, and I'm going to keep an eye on the sight glass for when it's in between those lines. Don't you just love integrated spouts? Okay, so that took about 1.4, 1.5 liters. So I'm going to put it back on, clean everything up, and then I'm going to run the bike for a few minutes, just like you do any oil change, kind of circulate the oil and double check my drain plug and my oil filter housing to make sure there's no leaks. And then I'll double check the level, which I forgot to mention. Okay, so I'll fire this sucker up. Like I said, we'll check for leaks and then check the level afterwards. And just as a side note, I love newer fuel-injected bikes. Like, I grew up on carbureted 2-strokes, and just starting these things, like you'll see in a sec here, is just such a luxury compared to kicking over your old 2-stroke. As expected, the oil circulated, so it's not showing in my sight anymore. So I'm going to add oil before I run it any longer as I brake my creeper. That seems better. We've used 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, about 1.5, 1.6 quarts. So we'll run it for a little bit here. Yeah, still suck the oil down. I'm expecting about 1.6 to 1.8 quarts. So yeah, it's close. It's near the bottom mark, so I'm just going to add a little bit more. Okay, so now we're at that 1.7, 1.8 mark. Just to show you guys, yeah, you can see in the oil glass there, see the two lines, and the oil level is near the top line, so I'm happy with that. As for the skid plate, I'm going to leave that off for now because, like I said, I want to get some new hardware. But to install, it's just in reverse. You just hold it up there and install your screws that you took off. All right, now we're up top on the bike, and to get the air filter, I'm on the passenger side. So I'm going to remove the seat, and then this panel here in the air filter will slide right under the seat there. So to remove this seat, I'm taking the two 6mm Allen bolts here, and then the seat will just pop right out. Just lift up and slide like that. To get this side panel, I'm removing the two 5mm Allen bolts here. This one for sure. This one, I believe this would interlock here. I'm just going to take them both off, and then I'll confirm once I get the panel off. But yeah, anyway, these two bolts and then the panel should come right off. Just like that. Yeah, so that top one did have to come off because it loops through the panel on the back there. And then there's actually two kind of rubber grommets. So you just make sure you don't pull too hard and just kind of figure out where the grommets clicked in and just click the two grommets out first and the panel will pull out. Next, we have 1, 2, 3, 4 Phillips that hold the airbox cover on. Airbox cover just slides right off there. And then the filter is just clipped in here. That clips right out there. Again, good thing we're doing the maintenance. Actually, that doesn't look too bad, to be honest. Yeah, there's a little bit of dirt on the side of the filter, but the bottom of the cleats look pretty good. So I could have gotten away with not changing this, but I wanted to change it out, start like fresh off the season. And I also bought this bike last year, so I just want to catch up on all the maintenance. New filter. There's the two tabs here that click in the back, and then this clips right on, and then we'll install everything in reverse. Like I said, we'll install everything in reverse. So let's start with the airbox cover, side cover, and lastly we have the seat. And just like that, that is how you change the oil in the air filter on a CRF250L Rally. Like I said, I have a feeling it'll be similar for a lot of 250 models. So yeah, that's how it's done. If you guys have any questions, leave them down below. Don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe. And let me know if you want to see more videos on bikes. I like doing them. It's a nice change up compared to working on cars. Thanks for watching.